The interment of the victim of the terrible tragedy reported last week, Miss Elsie Cook, 4 Gower Street, Aberdare, took place at Aberdare Cemetery on Saturday. The officiating ministers being the Reverends E. Ivor Humphreys, BABD, of Green Street Wesleyan Chapel, Aberdare, and the Wesleyan Circuit Superintendent, and G.T. Dixon, Mountain Ash, Superintendent, Wesleyan Circuit. The route to the cemetery was lined by thousands of spectators, and expressions of profound sympathy were heard on all sides. Her tragic end had caused a great shock to her numerous friends, because her sweet and reserved nature had won for her the affection and esteem of all. The funeral started from the house at 2:30 p.m, but long before this a vast crowd of more than 2,000 persons had congregated in Gower Street. The cortege was one of the largest seen in the district. An impressive service was conducted at the house by the Reverend H.T. Dixon, and outside the home, the English Wesleyan choir gave a touching rendering of Rock of Ages. As the sad procession wended its way to the cemetery, many were moved to tears. The service at the new cemetery was extremely impressive. The general public were not admitted to the burial ground, and entrances and walls were guarded by police in charge of Superintendent Edward Jones and Inspector Owen Jones, who were present at the funeral. Around the grave stood the relatives, members of the Wesleyan choir, Aberdare, and the gentlemen who formed the cortege. The chief mourners were her father, Mr. Edgar Cook, Messrs. Fred, Percy, Ozem and Ronald, brothers, E. Gittings, D. H. Jones, H. Burt and A. Millard, uncles, Ozem Jones, Glyn Cook, A. Norris, Freddie Burt and Christopher Bishop, cousins. In the coaches were the mother, Mrs. Nancy and Harriet Cook, sisters, Mrs. Percy Cook and Mrs. Fred Cook, sisters-in-law, Mrs. D. H. Jones and Mrs. H. Burt, aunts, Mr. and Mrs. John Gittings, grandparents, Mrs. Cook, grandmother, Mr. Chris Bishop, cousin, Miss Letty Thomas, friend. Mr. Thomas Whitbread, stepfather of the accused, and 2 stepbrothers were also at the burial, and a wreath was also sent by them. The Reverend E. Ivor Humphreys read the committal service and prayer, and in the course of his remarks after the service said, "My friends, I cannot let this occasion pass without saying just a word or two, some words that I know are really in the hearts of every person present. All have not the opportunity of speaking them. Our hearts go out in sympathy with those who have suffered this tragic bereavement, and I am sure we shall remember all the relatives who are affected by this terrible bereavement and tragedy in our prayers and in our kindly thoughts. At a time like the present, we feel that there is a mystery in some things. There are many problems in this world that have not yet been resolved. Perhaps all we can say is that our Lord Jesus Christ has brought immortality to life through the cross. We know how helpful he can be at a time like the present, and we know that he can be a companion and friend. That we know by personal experience. We know it is true. His power throws light on all dark tragedies and shadows, and although we cannot explain why such things as these have been allowed, yet in our hearts we trust in God and know that God is love, and that in some way his love will be manifest in the whole of our life. We shall all have to finish with the things of the present life. The service terminated with the singing of Lead, Kindly Light. The funeral arrangements were carried out by Mr. A. Gritton, undertaker, Aberdare.